kids. If you have not followed his Triple H Horse Racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
Good morning and welcome to Saratoga Today, live from Saratoga Springs. I'm your host, Howard Kravitz. We got the whole crew here. You can hear them in the background, my housemates. It's been an incredible week here in Saratoga Springs. Again, I'm at a new location here, so hopefully everyone can hear me okay and the volume is all right. We have different technology. We've had a lot of fun. This morning we had the MIG. Richard Migliore give us a backstretch tour. It was absolutely amazing. You'll hear all about the trip later on next week. We got a lot of things to talk about. The big news this morning here, as we're filming live on Friday morning, is the weather. Unfortunately, a lot of rain yesterday and overnight here in Saratoga Springs. It is clearing up a little bit as we speak. It's not supposed to rain until maybe early this afternoon. The races have been taken off the turf as of now, except for the two big stake races. And if you're watching at home or listening at home, if you have more information about scratches and whatnot, that'd be great. So that is the news with the weather tomorrow for the huge Whitney Day starring the one and only Cody's Wish. The weather is supposed to be fantastic tomorrow. However, if they get more rain today, there's a very good chance that more races will be taken off the turf tomorrow. If you receive our Saratoga Power Picks, I emailed out information. You'll be receiving those Saratoga Power Picks for today, Friday, right after the show. So we will get those to you as well. All right, let's see very quickly. Please make sure you subscribe on the bottom right-hand side of the screen. After you do that, hit that notification bell so that you know when new content will arise, and smash, and I mean smash, that like button. That'll send the YouTube generator right to our channel so we can increase our viewership and let everyone know about the fantastic HHH Racing podcast. I will be going solo today for most of the show. Kyle Roscoe and perhaps Patrick Kunzel will be joining us towards the end of the show to talk about two races later in the card. Now, this morning, we are going to talk about the early pick five, the betting and boozing guys Wednesday night. I think it was episode 33, if I have the number correctly. Did a fantastic job Wednesday night covering the late pick five on Friday. I'd highly recommend you check out that show, and co-host or part-time co-host here on the HHH Racing podcast and on Bet and Boozin', young man, Mr. Noah Maher, crushed. Talk about crushing your bets. An $18,000 pick five he hit at Del Mar yesterday. So shout out to Noah out there. The young guys on this podcast are absolutely killing it. Congrats to Noah Maher for hitting that pick five at Del Mar. And I can see out of the corner of my eye, my housemates look a little suspicious. I don't know if we're going to see some crazy stuff in the live chat, but I will apologize in advance if you see some. I'm sure it'll be appropriate. But anyway, we got Mike Monroe is here. Mike Monroe on the bottom of the screen. Thank you. He says races, 2, 4, I think 10 and 11, if I can read that correctly, are off. Yes. The stake races are still on. Katie is here. What's up, Katie? How are you? Phil Conti, of course, top of the morning. Thanks, Phil. Let's see who else here. Sylvain from, I believe, Toronto. Sylvain, how you doing? All the wonderful people are here. Okay, I think that talks about all the things that administrative items you guys know about. Of course, you can listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor. Look below the video player. You guys know the drill. We've got fantastic power picks, and we have a great website as well, hhhracingpodcast.com. All right, so we're going to talk about the early pick five here today, Friday, and then we're going to touch on the late pick five only because we have races taken off the turf. And like I said, Kyle Roscoe and or Patrick Kunzel, who previewed the late pick five, will jump on the show later, and we will talk about that. So I'm going to bring up the banner here. Let me take off the scroll again. Bear with me, folks. Got a lot of people watching as usual. Greatly appreciate the viewership. And let me go ahead to my picks. Again, you're only going to see my top three. My other co-hosts are very busy this morning doing other things. I will say, and as I'm bringing this up, I'm doing a little bit editing as well, because you're going to see some, I'm trying to get rid of the picks that I see from Paul. So there are my picks to start the early pick 5. Race 1, you see, I'm going to go ahead and try to bring up, I should be able to bring up as well some PPs. Let's see if we can do that today. Hold on one second here. Oh, okay. Having a little bit of issues here. I'm not sure why that's not working, but okay. Looks like we're not going to be able to do that. So, all right. Nope. So I'm not sure why we can't bring up the PPs. Let me try one more time. There we go. Sorry about that. Let's try this, folks. Again, there we go. That should be working. I think I brought up the PPs. Thanks for being patient with me. So you see the PPs on the screen right now, I believe. Yes. So the first race, again, the race started approximately 1:10 Eastern today. It's going to be sloppy. I'd be highly surprised if the dirt is not sloppy at any time today. Maybe it can be good and dry out if Mother Nature cooperates. She's been a bit naughty lately, so I believe it's going to stay sloppy. Again, there's races taken off the turf. The first race, 6 furlongs, maiden special weight. Again, of course, kicks off the early pick 5. This is for the boys, and it's a pretty big field. Again, we do not have scratches yet, or I do not have scratches. So when scratches come up, if you folks have them at home, feel free to put those in the chat. I'll do the best I can. But you can see as I scroll through the field, this race was intended to be on the dirt and is on the dirt. So we don't have to worry about any also eligibles or anything of that nature. As you can see on the bottom of the screen, or it should be on the bottom of the screen still, I believe. Yes, it is scrolling. I'm going 4-3-1A in this spot. Let's take a look at the 4, my top choice here. I'm going the Wicked again. 7-5 morning line, not the most creative top pick. 2 solid races, maiden special weight. The workout report, by the way, was very good on Wicked again. This is owned by Winchell Thoroughbreds, Asmussen, great connections. Of course, it's a gun runner colt, gray colt, out of a Tappet mare. So maybe this one wants to go longer than 6. That could be an argument you can make. But Tyler G in the saddle has been working well. Should get a nice stalking trip. I think Wicked again has a big shot. My second choice is a horse that's 3-1. Maybe we can get some value. Ludwig, the number 3, for Junior Alvarado, trainer Philip Bauer, who's only 1 for 11 this meet, but has 5 other in the monies. So this horse might look a little slow on paper. What I do want to mention is 2 things. This horse puts blinkers on. He is a 4-year-old. In general, this time of year, I'm a little bit against 4-year-olds versus 3-year-olds if they've not broken their maiden at this point. I'm a little dubious of that. However, Ludwig has blinkers on, the ultimate equipment change with the geld, and has been working lights out. You can see on the bottom of the screen, or hopefully you can see, 2 successive breezes in 47 and change. Quick. He is also, if you go by the early time form, Pace Figs could get the lead here. Slop, okay, not bad. 365 on the Tomlinson number. If you look at the top right where it says wet, and there's a number after that, that's the Tomlinson number. I think Ludwig certainly has a shot here to shake free. And then the 1A Index Fund for Chad and Klarovich. Chad's got 2 in here. He also has the flat 1 from breaking from the 2 hole, I believe. This coupling might be the favorite. I don't know. I don't really understand why they would be the favorite other than it's Chad and Klarovich. It's not a grade 1 turf race. So, automatically by that, you could say they have a little bit less of a chance. They're obviously, though, they're both live. As far as I know, they're both in the race. Again, I'm working with different technology. I'm trying to find different things here. But as far as I know, they're both in the race. They have different jocks as well. One is Irad, one is Flavian. I'm going to try to beat this coupling. I'm going to go 4-3-1. I think the value is the number 3, Ludwig, personally. That's what I'm going with in the first race. I go ahead and try to put myself, there we go, put myself on screen. All right, let's go to race 2. You're going to see picks on the bottom of the screen here in just a second. Actually, you won't because I just accidentally deleted something. So you will not. Let me see if I can create a banner real quick as I'm speaking here, as I'm working through some technology. Give me 1 second here. Race 2 we'll go to, again, it's sloppy, ladies and gentlemen. And I expect it to be sloppy all day. Not always a fan of that, to be very honest. But you got to make your adjustments, and you can make money on days like this if you understand horses that like the slop. You look at the figs in the slop. I always like to play a little more speed on days like this. I've got some unbelievable handicappers, 15 feet away that I think could confirm that. Listen, we don't like when we have mud kicked in our face. The horses are the same, although they probably enjoy it a little more than humans. But again, certainly that's something that we don't like. Let me see if I can get this as a scroll here. Again, please be patient with me. Thank you. Okay, this should work. There we go. You can see it now on the bottom of the screen. We're all good. I appreciate your patience. Let's go to race 2. Here we go. Race 2. This is off the turf. You can see it on the top of the screen. So again, you have to look at the board, ladies and gentlemen. You have to watch the board. The board tells a lot with these 2-year-old babies, especially when you're in off the turf race. I would look at the probable will pays going forward. So as you're looking at the board in race 1, go to your ADW and go to the probables and look at the doubles. Look at the probable double will pays going forward, and you can see who the likely favorites and horses that are going to be bet in this race. And because it's off the turf, that changes things for me. This is a huge guessing game for me personally. And I see Bob is here. Thank you, Bob. We appreciate you joining the show as I'm just looking at the chat. I'm going with Happy Baytown, who's 10-1 morning line. This is a run happy filly out of a Tis Now dam. So Tis Now, of course, the Tis Nows want to go longer. But Paul McAtee decided to run her at Keeneland in mid-April. So this horse was absolutely precocious, and she ran a good second. She's got some very good work. She's from the rail. And again, you're going 5.5 on a sloppy track. Give me the horse that's going to get out there, ideally on the lead, and be a factor. I don't know what the odds are going to be. We'll have to see. This horse also has a 418 Wet Tomlinson number. Again, if you look at the top of the screen, and I can't make it any bigger for you folks right now, so I apologize. But this horse has a very good Wet Tomlinson, which means she should run well on a wet track. We'll see. I'm going to take a little stab with Happy Baytown. Now, I believe we do get another horse. I think there's a coupling, if I remember correctly. There is. The 1A, if the 1A is in the race, this is another McAtee trainee with a different jockey, Joe's Dream. This is a Not This Time colt. Didn't cost that much, but has been working well. I'm mainly interested in the flat one from the rail. Again, check the board, check to see if this horse, check for scratch to see if this horse is in. You have to take a look at horses that are main track only in this situation. There's 2 horses that are main track only. The number 11, Rudy. And guess who this gal's trained? This boy is trained by? Rudy Rodriguez, of course. And then you have the 12, Crown That Saint. So what I just want to confirm to everyone is this is actually a race for boys or girls, but there is a filly. Like I said, actually there's a few fillies in the race. The one that I like, Happy Baytown. If you are one of those people that is stuck on, the boys can't beat the girls or whatever, when you're talking about 2-year-olds, sometimes the girls are actually more precocious than the boys. Maybe not as much at this time of year. I would not let that bother you. These 2-year-olds, when they're fast, they're fast. So there are some girls running against the boys. Rudy had a decent workout tab, not great. But again, this is one that was supposed to run on the dirt. And so I always like to look at these main track onlys because They're supposed to be on the dirt, and they are. Crown That Saint, the 12 at 5-2 is the one that I'd be interested as well. But I do have to say, and I want to caution everyone out there and caution everyone who's actually in this room within listening distance. The race on July 20th, the Saratoga race, which a bunch of these horses are coming out of, it was not visually impressive. I personally didn't like it. The winner won by 9.5 and was good. I just didn't think there was a lot of running in behind. So that's why I'm looking towards the one possibly and maybe the first time starter. Experience matters a lot. I just didn't like what I saw from the horse that ran July 20th. You can make your own conclusions at home and do what you want. This Crown That Saint got a perfect trip. I mean, a perfect trip on the inside. It's IRAD. He's going to take money, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I'm going to be looking for a little bit of value in this race, perhaps. Again, let the board be your guide. All right, let's move on to race 3 here. I'm just going to go ahead and keep this rolling. I do need to go back and change the banners for you. So again, a little patience here would be appreciated. I do need to edit. Again, I have Paul's picks on from yesterday. You guys don't want to see those. We want to talk about today. So there we go. Just switch the screen. Let's talk about race 3. I have a relatively strong opinion here in race 3. I see we have some comments on the screen from the wonderful Matt Miller and Kyle Roscoe. Trish Smith is here. Trish, thanks for joining the show from Lexington, Kentucky. The 4, Trish mentioned the 4. I look at the 4, possible breeding there. Kyle does agree with me, which is why he's hosting a show, why Matt Miller's not hosting a show. So there you go. But anyway, no, I'm just kidding, Matt. Matt's been awesome. And by the way, shout out to Matt Miller for providing the backstretch tour with us with the TRF. We're all big fans of Kim Weir. We can all applaud. We're all big fans of Kim Weir and the TRF, and Matt Miller was kind enough to make a donation and help that happen. So also donated for a sprinkling system, I think. I don't know. I'm going to have to get more information. Apparently, Matt's big on watering lawns and farms and whatnot. I don't know. But anyway, we'll have to get the – he's laughing over here. We'll have to get the information on that. Maybe Matt will come on air if he wants and actually talk about that. As I can see, the number of people we have listening continues to grow and watching. Thank you very much. Race 3. Let's go to race 3 right now. Race 3. I didn't realize, I have to be honest, everyone, I did not realize they write races this low of claiming tag at Saratoga. We could probably have an hour discussion about, why that should be or shouldn't it be. These are for 10 claimers. I thought like 12, 5, or 15 is the lowest they subscribed from the racing secretary. Obviously, I was wrong. 10 claimer, 6 furlongs on the dirt. This is a decent sized field. The number 1 risk profile, I have a strong opinion on 4-1 morning line. This is a horse, and again, we've talked about this on the show. We've talked about this with these big meets. Linda claims this horse for 20, ladies and gentlemen, drops in for 10. Now, normally that'd be a big red flag for me. But as Matt Miller knows, and Brad Anderson, and Philly Joe Metka, and all the wonderful people around me, they know that when these horses are dropped in at Saratoga, it's a different story. Linda Rice wants to win a training title. Let me go ahead and switch the screen here just a little bit. I'll go ahead and bring myself on screen and the PPs. There we go. Linda wants to win a training title. I wouldn't be at the owners wanted to get their, a winner's circle picture. I can fully understand why personally. So I'm not as concerned. This was a horse that's been claimed a bit. He's run perfectly fine. I don't love the 3 for 27, no doubt about it. And you could say claiming off of Rudy is sort of a lateral move to Linda. That's an argument for another day. But this horse has back numbers that fit. Again, he's raced on the slop 6 times, 3 seconds and a third, does not have a win. Okay, but I look down the PPs and you can see if you look carefully there as I go ahead and back to full screen. If you give me a second, there we go. If you go full screen, let's see, where's the date? December 4th, Aqueduct on the muddy surface, 83 buyer. I believe that's this horse's best buyer. So muddy is different from sloppy, is different from sealed. Again, another conversation for another day. I like risk profile. I'm also going with the 2-horse Money Mike, who will take money from every single person who's named Mike. So this horse is absolutely going to get bet. You can laugh there at home. It's absolutely true for sure. Money Mike will be overbet just because of that. Dropping from 32 into 10. Okay, this is a different kind of drop. This horse is not off a claim. And by the way, he was bought for $600,000 at the Keelan September sale in for 10. Welcome to horse racing, people. It's a very tough game. So, but Money Mike is logical, Tyler Gaffleone. And then the number 8 is my third choice. We're going to scroll down the screen so we can see that. Number 8. Striking Speed. Here's what I liked about this one. What I find amusing a bit is the sire is Brilliant Speed, and he has a lot of early speed. So there you go. Did not run very well last time for 16. I like outside speed. It's an angle we've talked about on the show. If you have 2 speed horses, Rosario, who's riding very well and has been more aggressive lately, if you've been watching him, he'll break, he'll look to his left, he'll see what he sees. The last 3 races, if you look at the PPs, are red time form numbers. So this horse has been involved in very fast paces. I think Striking Speed is very interesting. Is the wonderful BC champ Brad Anderson's cooking up some lunch for everyone to my left. It looks like it's going to be outstanding. Striking Speed. Striking. What do we got there, Brad? What are we making? Oh, beautiful. All right, he's gonna cook up something nice for us. Striking Speed is interesting, especially if this one can get loose. We'll see. It's not a great race. I'm going 1, 2, 8. The last thing I do want to say about the 1, which I just looked at my notes, Risk Profile has a very good workout report. One of the better workout reports for these horses. 2 solid 101 breezes. I like 5 furlong breezes also. So Risk Profile with some nice works. All right, let's go to race 4. Again, thanks for joining the show, everyone. Really appreciate it. Again, Kyle Roscoe and or Patrick Kunzel will be coming on in just a few minutes also to talk about the 2 races in the late pick 5. Let me go ahead and put myself back on screen here. Bear with me. Let's do that. There we go. Kyle Roscoe and or Patrick Kunzel will be on the show here to talk about the 2 races that were taken off the turf as of now in the late pick 5 because they know those races well. Let's go to race 4. I've seen a lot of races in my day. I've seen a lot of races at Saratoga in my day. This race, this is not the classiest of girls, but you know what? They deserve to get the winner's circle. They deserve the owners and jockeys deserve to get a check. This is an off the turf race. Older fillies and mares, state breds, maiden 40. And the minute I see the condition, I think one word: spread, because these horses are hard to trust in general. Let me go ahead and go full screen with the PPs. I know there's a lot of comments on the screen. I'm sorry I'm not able to get to as many today, so I'm going solo. I see Jared Bush is in the chat. Jared, what's up, man? Thanks for joining the show. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and just continue on here. Let's go to race 4, and I'm going to go ahead and do a little editing here. Again, you're going to see Paul with a blank. Paul, actually, if you're wondering where is everyone, or at least where's one person, wonderful co-host. Let me put myself on screen for a second. Wonderful co-host Paul Hallen right now, as we speak, is at Bill Mott's barn. He's talking to trainer Bill Mott to get some information about Cody's Wish. So, of course, Paul is in the process of writing a book about Cody's Wish. We all can't wait to see the book when it comes out. And also, we can't wait to see what the end of the book will be like, which Paul doesn't even know because it's going to depend on the Breeders' Cup Classic, hopefully. Cross our fingers. We'll see. Let's go to race 4. As I said, race 4 is a spread race for me. You can see my picks on the bottom of the screen. I'm going 8, 15, 5, and I'm Would be very surprised if the 15 is not in. I'm guessing on who is going to be in and who's not going to be in here based on pedigree. The number 8, Jayla, great name, is trained by a woman who I've had the pleasure of meeting this week. Actually bumped into her several times, Jenna Antonucci, and she was fantastic. Very nice woman. Jenna is actually going to be on our show before the Travers. And if you are not familiar with Jenna Antonucci, she is the trainer of Belmont winner Arcangelo. So Jenna knows how to train for sure. She knew how to train way before Arcangelo winning. Jayla is a horse that has run well on the dirt, which is what you want. That was at the fairgrounds. It was restricted. 53, 57. Okay, nothing special. Castellano aboard. Obviously, they have a great relationship with the Antonucci barn. Been training well, can get 2 turns. These are slow gals in general. I want horses that have gone 2 turns. I want horses that have experience on the dirt. Jayla fits the mold. There are some horses in this race. There's actually one main track only. The 15 is not an MTO. Lakeside Getaway. What do I like about Lakeside Getaway? Well, the turf numbers are good, fine. But the breeding, I have a feeling, will handle the wet. This is a horse by Violence, whose horses, babies run pretty well on the wet. Out of a Giants Causeway mare. This is more of a gut feel to me. The workout reports, by the way, were very good, especially the last work on Lakeside Getaway. This is purely a guess, no doubt about it. Sometimes turf horses can handle the slop. Sometimes they can't. This is a New York bred. I'm going with Lakeside Getaway. 8-1 morning line. Have no idea what the post time odds are going to be. And then I like the number 5 a bit as well. The 5 is a first time starter, if I remember. No, it's not. Sorry. Jessica's Ride, 6-1. More logical because she's been on dirt in her 3 starts. I don't know. She's a little bit slower to me, but she's definitely possible. Katie Davis, who is a very good rider, one I know well. I'm going 8, 15, 5, but I have to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, this is a complete guess in general. Again, you want to look at the board. You want to see the scratches, etc. Race 4 is difficult. Let's go to the last race of the early pick 5, and then we'll bring on, I believe Kyle Roscoe will be coming on. I guess we'll just find out. I'll see who's in the background, whether it's Patrick or Kyle or both or neither, and I'll just keep going here. Race 5. Let me go ahead and bring that on the screen. Let's go do that. There we go. And I will switch to race 5. Again, thank you very much for joining us here, Saratoga Today. Okay, now we're getting some nice horses. 7 furlongs, 50 claimers. These are boys. This ends the pick 5, and I think it's a pretty difficult pick 5 on the surface. Again, you'll have to check for scratches and changes. I am going in race 5. I don't think I have the banner up. Hold on one second, please. I do not. Let me get the banner up here in just a second. I think the 7 is going to be my top choice, everyone, and my banner will be coming up here in just a moment. Here we go. Count to 3. 1, 2, 2.5. As I do in my math classroom. 2.7. There we go. All right, 3. There are the picks on the bottom of the screen. I'm going 7, 3, 4 to close out the pick 5. The number 7, Patient Capital. 9-5. And you know what? This horse has been a money burner. And you're wondering, Howard, why are you going to this horse? Well, again, good outside tactical speed, has experience in the wet. I'm not blown away by many others in here. This is the kind of horse that some people might try to fade. I am not. I would never single this horse by any means, but I think Patient Capital, the number 7, is very logical here. 9-5 morning line for all the reasons I said. There's 2 horses on the inside that I would take a close look at. The number 3, Baltazar, again, for a lot of the same reasons. Horatio De Paz, the trainer. Franco has been a little bit cold up here, to be honest. But I believe he had a winner, was it Wednesday or earlier this week, if I recall. I think Franco's had some, got off the schneid, so to speak. There's no reason why this horse can't win. Has not run on a wet surface, that might be a strike against this gelding. You can make that decision for yourself. Has a nice inside post, and what I like most, second off a relatively long layoff. Still probably can run to his back number. And the other one is a typical horse that I love because I love turnbacks. The number 4, Carmichael for Diodoro. Diodoro is 0 for 12 right now at Saratoga. Saratoga is a tough meet. It is very hard to win up here. If you want to say he's cold, okay, not going to argue with you. I don't see a reason why Carmichael, though, cannot get Diodoro's first win. I love the turnback. He was just claimed. He has been running at Churchill, which obviously is a tough circuit. And the turnback might work. Blinkers on, first off the claim, working well. 0 for 5 on wet, though, as I notice. Again, this is a horse I'd want to look at on the track, and we don't know what the surface is going to be like, to be very honest. But I love turnbacks. I'd throw Carmichael in there. And the 8 also, I think, is interesting, who I'm not going to talk about very much, but Joking Way for Linda and Jose off the claim. This horse looks slow. You think Linda can't move up a horse? If you don't think she can't move up a horse lately, you are not paying attention. I think Linda is absolutely live in almost any race right now that she runs it. All right, I'm going to talk about very quickly, very briefly. We're going to jump to the late pick 5, and I'm assuming one of my co-hosts will be jumping on here as I speak, or perhaps not. Again, there are 2 races today. Let me go ahead and bring myself on screen here. There are the late pick 5. There's 2 stake races. The turf races, the turf stakes are currently on the turf. As I'm looking outside the window right now, literally, I do see some drizzle. It is starting to rain a little bit again. There's only so much water these turf courses can take. And the jockeys also can have a say, ladies and gentlemen, because if they feel it's unsafe, they're not going to run. I wouldn't want to speculate right now. Graded stakes are really taken off the turf. And if they are, they could run them perhaps on Sunday. I actually talked with Richard McGlory this morning. These horses have to be administered Lasix at least 6 hours before the race. So they have to make a decision. It's 10:04 right now. They got to make a decision very soon if those races are going to stay on the turf. So we'll have to see, or at least actually the grade stake horses are not going to receive Lasix. I apologize, in New York or any stake races. Cancel that thought. Anyway, we'll see what happens with these stake races. But there are 2 races in the late pick 5 that are off the turf. And let me go ahead to those. I'll be very honest, I have not handicapped those races yet. As I'm looking, I think it's the last 2. It's race 10 and 11. So again, I'm not going to give you an opinion on those because I've not handicapped those, and I'm not just going to make things up here as we go along. I will say, as I'm scrolling down, and let me make sure you folks can see what I'm seeing here. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Let me bring the PPs up. As I scroll down and look, and now you can see the PPs as well. Let's see if there are some AEs, or most importantly, if there are some main track onlys. There is 1, 2. There are a bunch of horses here, it looks like, that are main track only. The 12, One Giant Leap, who's 9-5 morning line, is main track only for Wesley Ward. So that horse is going to be very live. You have Gabe, who's also main track only for Antonio Arriaga. Courthouse Cove, another main track only. So you have to look at these main track onlys. They're going to be major factors in this race. Again, take a look at those horses first before you even look at the main body of the field. And then, wow, is it really raining outside? No, that is a sink, ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear out of the background. Anyway, the last race is also off the turf. It's 1 mile and 3/8. So it's going to be on the main track. They're going to start. Actually, I think this is going to be to 1.25 miles on the main when they switch it. So I believe it's still going to be 2 turns. I don't think it's going to be 3 turns. But the last race of the day, I believe, will be in 1.25 miles on the dirt. Again, you'll check. When you scroll through the PPs, again, the AEs are horses that would be in the race if it was on the turf. They could also run if they were on the dirt, but also eligibles are not the same as MTOs or main track only. So just for educational purposes, the 11 and 12 are also eligibles, which means they were meant for the turf, but obviously could run in this race also. The main track onlys, the 13 and 14, want to run on the dirt and would most likely only be in the race if it was on dirt, and it is on dirt. So you have to look at those horses as well. It's always unfortunate when you have races taken off the turf. That's the way it goes, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go. I think that covers pretty much everything I'd like to cover this morning. We went through the early pick 5 again. Check for track conditions. Let's go ahead and go to some comments really quick before we end the show. For those of you that are interested in, again, in the Saratoga Power Picks, I'm going to be delivering them out pretty soon, actually, right after the show here. And then Saturday mornings, Saratoga Power Picks will be delivered Saturday morning through email. We will have a Saratoga Today show tomorrow, Saturday morning, to talk about an unbelievable, whether some of the races are taken off the turf or not, I don't care. The races tomorrow on Whitney Day are absolutely fantastic. But very quick, we have Kay Reed is here, who was talking to Jared, who gave some info there. We've got Richard Avalar. Thank you very much. Richard Avalar joined us. Let's see. Let me take that off the screen here. But we have Dean G. Talked about, Franco went on Bold Endeavor. And Bold Endeavor yesterday at 21-1. Someone I know, I think, had a nice trifecta in that race, and that was huge. Just to let you know, our big group here had a massive pick 5 going. We could not hit the last race, which was a real bummer. We had 4 horses and lost several nice $4,000, or excuse me, 4-figure late pick 5s. We're going to take a shot at today, but thank you. Franco won on last Endeavor. But anyway, as I go ahead and bring up the final banner on the screen here, I am guessing that the the 2 stake turf races are going to stay on the grass. It's a complete guess, maybe more of a hope. I'm also going to guess that tomorrow's turf races that are not stakes are going to be off the turf. Tomorrow's one of the biggest days here at Saratoga, and the weather is going to be great. They're going to do everything they can to keep as much as they can on the turf. Scratches are out right now as I speak. So they just came in, I believe, pretty recently, probably from Andy's. I'm getting the info here from the awesome handicapper, Philly Joe Mecca. So I guess the scratches just came out. Take a look at those. Andy Serling, you can follow him on Twitter. They just came out on Naira or whatever. You can find them as well for the scratches. All right. I believe that will take care of all the administrative items and everything that we need to discuss. Thank you for bearing with me. Again, we have different technology, different background here. Hopefully the sound was okay. Really appreciate everyone joining us this morning for Saratoga Today. And as always, everyone in the room, crush your bets at Saratoga. Take care, everyone. Good luck today. Bye-bye.
If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.